Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a video about being a better hairdresser. So if that's building clientele, the way you should dress, how to, look for an interview, how to keep your clientele, how to build a relationship with your clientele. So I'm just gonna get straight into it. I have like some notes on my phone, just like what I wrote out so I can kind of make it like somewhat organized. So first I want to talk about dress code. So right now it's something that I would not wear to work, okay? Usually, depending on the salon that you're in, it's very popular to wear all black or to wear a white top, like a plain top with a black bottom and closed-toed shoes. No tank tops, nobody wants to see your armpits when you're cutting, and you see your armpit, like nobody wants to see that. So just keep that in mind, that when you're bending over, your boobies aren't going to be like in someone's face, or, your armpits are going to be in someone's face, or, something like that. So, I would wear my hair like this, on maybe a day I didn't feel like washing my hair. Like, even though it's not down, it still looks, presentable. It doesn't look like I just rolled out of bed. Even if you want to, you don't have time to do makeup, you still want to do something like somewhat, do your face makeup, put on some eyeliner, some mascara, whatever, kind of whatever. So, mostly black, covering the shoulders, nothing too short, closed-toed shoes, because that's just like the law or whatever, just so you don't like drop the shears or hair splinters in your toes. So that's just something to keep in mind when you're going for an interview, or you're just starting a new salon and you got the job and you don't know exactly what the environment of the salon is yet. So next thing is assisting. Assisting can be a really awesome thing when it goes to like, as of me, I was assisting since I was 14 years old, and that's how I kind of got introduced into doing hair. It was just kind of like a thing to make some extra money, and then it turned into something more. But I think assisting is really good when you are out of school and when you are freshly a hairstylist, but I don't recommend to go to one of those salons that you have to be an assistant first before you become a hairstylist, unless it is while you're in school, and then once you get your license, then they're going to transfer you over. Because I know a lot of times when you are an assistant and then the clients see you as just an assistant, when you try to convert over to a hairstylist, they don't take you as serious in a way, because they're like, she's just the assistant, what's different now? And also, I think as insecure you might be about some different things when you first get out of school, I think that's really important for you to just put yourself out there. And I'm not saying, mess up anybody's hair or anything by any means, but just, try, like, don't act in front of the client that you're learning for the first time. But if you are really having an issue with something you don't know, most likely there's somebody in the salon that can just tell you, kind of point you in the correct direction, and you'll be fine. The fundamentals. It's just, sometimes when you first get out of school and you're not really sure about what's going on, or, what you should do if the hair turns orange, and you only have a certain, you just don't know everything. Like, nobody really knows everything in hair. Even if you've been doing it for, 20 years, you can still learn something new. So, yeah, I think that assisting is a really good thing, but I think that sometimes if you assist for too long of a time and you have your license as you're assisting, it's kind of disrespectful to yourself in a way, because, you have a license to do what you're doing. You should just, I'm not saying if you feel uncomfortable to go straight into hair, but I don't think that you should be getting paid what an assistant is, somebody who does not have a license. What you should be getting paid the same as them, because I think, you don't know everything that you're going to know 10 years from now being a stylist, but that's the only way you're going to learn, is by, making minor mistakes here and there. That's how you're going to learn. You're going to say, hey, maybe I shouldn't use something so ashy because it turned to green. Let me put, like, if I put something ash, maybe put a drop of gold in that, just so it doesn't, turn green. Just random stuff that you learn just from, doing your own work. If you're watching somebody all the time, they're always telling you the answer, kind of what you should do. You're not thinking in your head, like, standing by the back bar, like you have no idea what to do. You're looking at all the colors and you're just like, I have no idea what to do right now. You kind of have to reason with yourself sometimes, and that's a good thing, because that makes you grow as a hairstylist, and it makes you, stronger, and it teaches you more. So let me not keep rambling, but I think that is a good way. Okay, so knowing how to break the rules. this sounds a little scary, but I think that is very important. You have to know the rules and fundamentals of hairstyling, or, you know, of being a hair designer. So, you know, whether it's color does not lift color, or, you know, 20 volume for gray, or, you know, permanent color for gray, or, you know, to cover gray, or, you know, don't overlap lightener on lightener. You know, there's all these rules, but once you know the rules, you should be able to actually break the rules, but within reason. So if you were to see my hair and you know that this is pre-lightened, but you know the integrity of my hair is fine, and you know that you're going to be watching it while you do it, but I want to be lighter, you shouldn't be scared to put lightener on hair like this, as long as you know what you are doing. You know that you're not going to put 40 volume bleach because this is already lightened. You know that you could do a 20 volume, you know, and watch it and just, you know, be very careful and not, you know, take too much time and over process the hair. But you know that you could definitely put lightener on my hair and my hair would be fine. Even if it takes a couple tries, you know, like, I mean, there's some people, you know, they color their hair, like me, for instance, I had only colored my hair one other time and I wanted an ombre. And I was like, you know what, let's try to do it with color, because I didn't want to put lightener on my hair. And this was like a while ago, probably over a year and a half ago, when I hadn't, like, I'd only colored my hair maybe once with like a demi-permanent, or one time with a permanent color. So, you know, I was like, you know what, let's try it. And, you know, it lifted. You know, or like some people, you know, like you don't think it's gonna lift and you're like, yeah, let me try it, you know, and it lifts. So there's, you know, certain times where you can break the rules, but you have to know the rules and follow the rules before you can actually break the rules. And that's actually what makes you a good hairstylist, being able to say, you know, maybe her hair does have color on it, but I know that she, like, you can see through the mid shafts and ends that it's not that much buildup, and that you could probably lift it maybe a level. I mean, you're not going to get bleach blonde on colored hair, but, you know, so, stuff like that. I mean, you know, you can use a demi-permanent color to cover grays if they don't want to line a demarcation, but you know that if it's a client that does not want to see any grays by the time it's 6 weeks, then you're not going to do that. So, you know, that there's just different things that you can, you know, pick and choose. Like, you don't have to, just because Shades EQ 09V takes out orange, it doesn't mean that you have to use 09V Shades EQ just because something else is orange. You can use a 10N, you can use a 10AV, you can use a 12AV, you can use an 8 ash. It doesn't matter. You can use whatever you want. You don't have to just use one formula just because that's what it says, that on the color wheel it says that purple is the opposite of yellow and that blue is the opposite of orange. You don't have to use a blue just because of that. So you need to know the rules before you can break the rules. So I think that's a really important thing in hairstyling, that, like, for you to really, really be good, you have to, you know, be confident enough to take that step and just do what it takes to get to the point where your client needs safely. So my next one is building a clientele and how to rebook your clientele. So building a clientele is really hard. It's something that comes definitely within, you know, years of you being in the same area or in the same salon for that matter. And I think it's really important to have a very strong referral program. Like at Ulta, we have, you know, if you send somebody to me, the next time you come in $30 or more, you get $15 off, and they also as well get $15 off. So that's, you know, you can kind of, you know, when people hear that, they're like, ooh, I'm gonna make my mom come here so I can get $15 off my next color. And then bam, you have someone already rebooking for the next color because they know they're going to get $15 off. And then you have the other person, hey, you know, I might as well try it. I'm going to get $15 off. And, you know, once they fall in love with what you do with their hair, then they're not going to want to go anywhere else. And then another really important thing is that, okay, say you're doing a guest, right? And you're saying, you know, you're talking about how they want to go blonde, right? And they have virgin hair and they want to go blonde, and you know it's going to go great and they're so excited. While you're on the service, you should already be talking about them the next time that they're going to be in. So say it's not like they're going to be those cases where they have to come in 2 days later to re-highlight their whole head, but you're going to have to, you know, every 6 weeks, you're going to get a line of demarcation. You're going to have to, you know, either do a root touch-up or, you know, a full head of highlights again. So you should already be talking about them and telling them when they go blonde about how this is a lot of upkeep, and that if you want to keep your hair at this color or, you know, this blonde, that you're going to have to see me within 6 to 7 weeks, maybe 8, pushing it. And you have to make sure that you stress that to them. So already in their head, they're thinking before they even check out with you and before you even take their cape off that they're going to be seeing you in 6 weeks, not that you're doing their hair one time and that you're never going to see them again, because that's a waste of time in my opinion, because every time you're going to be doing a new client, and you never build a rapport, and then you never have a clientele, right or wrong. So I think that's really important. And also I think what is important is like, say, okay, a client comes in, she's talking about her mother who's sick in the hospital, or her daughter that, just graduated from high school and is going to this college. You put those little notes inside of their file or write it down or whatever you do. So then the next time they come in, and maybe you don't remember them. A lot of times I do, because I'm pretty good with faces and names, and by the time I see their name and I see their face in the book, I can remember kind of who they were and what they were about and stuff. You put a little note like, oh, mom was sick, mom was in hospital, or daughter just graduated from high school. So when the next time you see them, when it's 6 weeks after, or 8 weeks, or whatever it may be, even 6 months, sometimes people only cut their hair every 6 months. You want to be rebooking them for that 6 months that they are going to be coming back to you. So, you say, hey, how's mom? Like, how's she doing? Or, oh, did she get into the college that she wanted to? I remember that your daughter just graduated from high school. So there's those little things that you can just make your client feel like you care about them without having to actually remember a million different things. Also, formulation is a good idea, even if maybe you're not going to use the same thing the next time, to put that in their file so you know exactly what you use, the products you use, and everything like that. Also, about rebooking, when you go up to the cash wrap and you are printing out their ticket, at least this is how it is at Ulta. You print out your ticket and, you give it to them and they go to the front and they pay up there. Either way, you're still going to be checking out your guests unless you have an assistant or a receptionist. In this case, we don't. I personally rather not have an assistant I'd rather not have a receptionist, because I like to have a relationship with my client, and I like to deal with my client from the time that they get there and get checked in until the time that they're leaving and I don't see them again. Because sometimes maybe you're being nice to them and you're treating them in a good way, and maybe your receptionist didn't have the best day and gave her a nasty attitude, and that gave her a bad taste in her mouth, and she doesn't want to ever come back again. One little thing could change a whole experience. So that's just something I really feel strongly about, unless you have a guest coordinator or a receptionist that is very good and treats guests with respect, and they know exactly how much time they need and everything like that. So when you go to check them out, this is how our system is at Ulta. We have a point of sale system. So pretty much you get the price up, and then before you print your ticket, there's a rebook button. And instead of saying, hey, would you like to rebook for 6 weeks, or are you just going to give me a call? Or you're going to say, hey, you're going to be doing 6 weeks. Is Wednesday at 2 o'clock usually a good time for you? And then they'll be like, no, I can't really make appointments. I'm like, and then what you say is, well, I get very booked, and you can even show them your book. This is what I like to do, because I do get booked, and then they won't be able to get in a time, and then they're going to end up with somebody else, and their hair's going to get messed up, and they're going to have to pay more to fix it. So, say, it's okay if you have to change it. You have my number. I will give you an extra card, but I would rather you rebook and change it than you not rebook and someone else get a spot where it's a really good time for you, because I know you have a really busy schedule with the kids or whatever that they have. So you're going to say to them, hey, I have to see you back in 6 weeks. Is Wednesday, or whatever time that it was, just say it's Wednesday at 2 o'clock. Is Wednesday at 2 o'clock usually a good time for you? Usually, if they've been coming a couple times, they'll be like, you know what, yeah, that's perfect for me. Just put me down. They get used to it. Some people are like, oh no, I have to call you, which is fine. But you want to stress to them that you want them to have an appointment with you. And if they want an appointment with you, they have to make it in advance, because you have a full book, which is, really good in a way, because they're like, oh, wow, everyone wants her to do my hair, or everyone wants her to do my brows, or everyone wants her to do my skin if you're an esthetician, whatever, or your nails or anything like that. That just makes them, shows them that, people, you were wanted stylist, which is good. So most people will say, you know what, that's perfect, and they make their appointment, and some of them cancel, and most of them actually, show up. And I always, within 48 hours, we actually have a text messaging program at Ulta, but sometimes, like, if it didn't confirm or anything, I always give them a call 2 days before or even 1 day before, and sometimes if they don't reply, the day of, just because people have busy schedules, and you know what? You control how much you make, and that's all I have to say, because if you're waiting for that, client to come, and a color comes in the door and someone else doesn't have a client, but you're waiting on a client that's not even going to show up, then you just lost $100 because you're waiting. I'm not waiting around for anybody. I'm going to know if you're going to be here or not. If you're running 15 minutes behind, that's fine, but you're going to have to wait 15 minutes since you're running 15 minutes behind. That's fine. Let's see. So we already went over pretty much everything. All right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any other questions about any, hair tips or, about building your clientele or anything like that, please give me a shout on the comments below. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. I love you guys so much. Until next time, guys.